Today is fine day in California. Huh? Choose.
Hello, everybody. Oh, I am not on top. I've got to be like Hulk Hogan and do the finger poke of doom. Okay.
Oh my
Hello,
goodness.
everybody. Yeah, that's a kind of awkward start, but hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Night Frenzy. We're Wonder Bat Cannon, and the topics they're more like a set of guidelines. Joining me today is the man who always smiles, never frowns while he steals all your lunch money. We have Smiling Bandito.
Hail, and well met. Great to be
Hail.
here. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you. And we've already got some good chats in the got Hooded Raven saying let them fight. Okay, Mr. Watanabe. God, I think 2014 is an underrated movie, but like that's a whole other discussion. Huge yes to the stream title, and a good example too. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. And let's explain it once it starts. So we are going to skip the headlines because, well, we don't really have any. So we're just going to go awkwardly past that, and we're going to go straight to the topic. So this was spurred on by, obviously, last week we got kind of a punch to the gut with Ozzy dying, which, was sucks, but 76 with the life he led, I feel like that's a pretty good run for him. And then we had Hulk Hogan pass a few days later, and that's kind of where the controversy is, because everyone's mourning Ozzy, as they rightfully should. Hulk is a bit of a contentious figure, and we've seen the gamut from like total respect to pissing on his corpse, essentially.
Well, Hulk Hogan, I mean, as far as that scale goes, Hulk Hogan is probably responsible for the biggest pop that wrestling ever had when he wrestled against The Rock, and that was probably like the audience has probably never been as hyped up,
and that's not even his biggest accomplishment.
No, but I mean, like with everything that he's done, there's nothing that's going to top that. Right, like
wrestling would not be what it is today without him. Like we can list all of his good accomplishments. We can do that. There's lots of stuff he did, but the importance.
But on the flip side,
go
so
ahead.
What I was getting at is on the flip side of that, we have probably the biggest booing that has ever come from the audience as well, simply in how deeply felt it was by the audience. Like people have booed, Vince McMahon and all that kind of stuff. They booed all kinds of wrestlers all throughout the time. And when Hulk turned heel and all that kind of stuff. But when he came out, the last time that he came out, and the audience was booing him, I think that was like even though I understood where the audience was, like I emotionally kind of felt it. I was just like, man, like this is bitter. This is really, really bitter. And so he is
to be
both
fair,
responsible for the biggest and the lowest.
Yeah, that's the thing with Hulk Hogan is for all the good stuff he's done, there's a lot of like legitimate grievances people have with him. Like the people who have been like personally screwed over by him, they have every right to hate his guts. I am not going to tell them they're wrong. Like Hulk, as much of a boon as he has been to the wrestling business, he's also been a detriment. Like he's like his like contract clause with WCW held that promotion back really badly. That won't work for me, brother. Is a meme for a reason.
Yeah.
And like I referenced, the whole finger poke of doom incident. And just his
sorry. You keep going. I can hear you.
Yeah, and then like Hulk's very liberal relationship with the truth. You know what I'm saying? So also Angelus, that is a really good one. We are going to touch upon that. I'm kind of with you on that, but I want to get to the Hulk Hogan stuff first. But yeah, so like he has just as many legit grievances as he does accolades. So I'm not going to say that the Hulk is someone who is perfect. He is not. He is he is like a yin and a yang. For all the good he has done just as much bad, you know. But at the same time, I'm of the opinion, and I feel like a lot of people share the sentiment. Death is not a time to focus on the bad. It's a time to remember the good. Like, obviously, if you have legit grievances, like the people that Hulk screwed over, I understand if they want to piss on his grave. You know, if they did it, I wouldn't blame them. But for the average fan, did Hulk steal your lunch money? No, that was Smiling Bandito. Blame him. Sorry, that's your lore now on this channel. You steal lunch money.
Yeah, it's going to be my thing. I'm taking everyone's lunch money today.
But no,
well, it sounds like you kind of just had the whole.
The average person.
It sounds like you just had the whole conversation already for us. So, but like, if you want to kind of dig into some of that, I think like when it comes to
the big thing is the racist remarks. Like, yes, he did say the N-word when he was getting like filmed, and he had that conversation with his daughter. And I'm not trying to like excuse him for that. Those are legit awful. But at the same time, you know, it's like the Mel Gibson thing where it's like, okay, you make one mistake 20 years ago. If you haven't done it again since, and you've tried to make amends, should we not at least try and forgive the person?
Well, how many mistakes does it require? I mean, it's kind of like the fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, you know, or fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, right? But I think that it's not necessarily about the mistakes that everyone makes. I mean, we do see people getting canceled for all kinds of things, but that kind of divides the fan base as opposed to, you know, creates, you know, as opposed to showing that the fan has all the fans have abandoned them. Like you look at in wrestling, just like when a popular character turns heel, right? Like this is a great actual, like, because we're talking about Hulk Hogan and wrestling and that kind of stuff. It's a great example to kind of, in a microcosm, to kind of show what it's like when, you know, the fans feel betrayed by something, right?
Yeah.
And so,
and one could argue, like, Hulk turning into Hollywood Hogan was probably the best move for his career. Like that was kind of like that was the second golden, like Hulk's golden age was the 80s. His second golden age was the 90s. Like that is legit a legendary run. You know, like because like the Hulk was like the ultimate babyface, so him turning heel was kind of a big deal, and it was played so well.
Yeah.
The
only one who would probably a bigger babyface would be oh shoot, I'm thinking for some reason Steamboat Willie comes into my head. I'm talking
I just did the sharpshooter on you.
Why can't I think of his name now? Oh shoot, he was the Asian guy before like the original. He's the original baby face, and I can't think of his name. Why can't? Oh my gosh, this is going to drive me nuts. Doesn't matter. But Hulk Hogan was like the ultimate baby face in that he was never allowed by Vince to turn heel. And it just kind of goes to show that Vince was wrong about that, right? So Hogan turning heel was easily the best thing, not only for his career, but probably for wrestling during that time as well. Yeah. Because I think that the WCW would have probably sunk with just Nash and Hall. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge
two things made the WCW pop: Hulk Hogan turning heel and the NWO. Now the problem, I mean, this is not like a why did WCW.
NWO wouldn't have lasted without Hogan though. NWO wouldn't have lasted. It would have just been some
Hogan being
thing.
A member of the NWO was another thing.
Yeah,
like him being the Four Horsemen that's legit one of the greatest moments in wrestling. Is Hogan turning up as a fourth horseman on the NWO. Got Jason Ingram here. He's dropping his flexings. Oh God, Steve Austin, one of the best talkers in the business.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so when it comes to this stuff, though, I don't think it's just about them doing terrible things. So, like, yeah, Hogan saying the N-word wasn't exactly his best moment, but at the same time, it was done in the privacy of someone else's home. But I think oftentimes you look at people like Alan Moore, Alan Moore has become very divisive as he's gotten
That's a good one.
older.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's because of his politics. So I think that there's probably like three main things. One of them would be
one person that I wanted to bring up, and Angela's actually, this is somebody that I actually agree separate art from artist is Joss Whedon, who like Hogan is, it's like he's had a few, like he's had good bad stuff, but like the big thing, like the racist stuff, those are kind of isolated incidents or whatever. So you can argue like Joss Whedon has a extended period of being an a-hole, so it's harder to defend him as a person. But for me, I do appreciate Joss Whedon's work. Like Buffy, I love Firefly. Angel.
Yeah.
I think The Avengers is a good movie. I think MCU wouldn't be what it is without Joss Whedon.
No, of course
like,
not. Yeah, he did.
As a person,
Avengers
he's a
movie
piece
was
of
him.
shit. As a man, he is a piece of shit. I'm not going to defend him as a man, but I think Joss Whedon is definitely a poster child for separating the art from the artist, because Joss Whedon has created some great art. Like, I will always love Buffy. I will always love Firefly.
So this actually brings up an interesting point. So like, what becomes the scale of how much you put up with the artist before the artwork becomes something you can't deal with?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm asking you, like, what? How far does it have to go? Where
It
you're just like, it
depends.
doesn't matter what they produce.
I think it depends on how much like the work has a hold on you. Like if it's something like nostalgic, that's like a core part of your childhood. Where like ripping out that art would be like ripping out a part of yourself. It becomes harder to just like. I think that's a big reason why Harry Potter is so divisive, is because a lot of the people who are so like the reason why J.K. Rowling gets such hatred is because all the people who are criticizing her are actually fans of her work. They made Harry Potter the very cornerstone of their identity, and to see this person become somebody they have to hate, it creates like a short circuit in their brain, and so like they can't like, oh, I love Harry Potter, but I don't like J.K. Rowling, which, by the way, is a fully legitimate stance. Like if you like Harry Potter but you don't like J.K. Rowling, that is fully fair in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of people can't make that separation. And I think that's why J.K. Rowling gets such visceral hatred from a certain group of people, if you know what I mean.
Well, she also dug her nails into a very visceral hatred of a group that has a very visceral hatred of the rest of the world, right?
Yeah.
So like the whole trans community and stuff pretty much hates the existence of every other culture on the planet.
Not all of them. It's there's the trans activists is how I like to put them, because like your average trans person is just a normal ass person, So I don't like to do the hashtag not all kind of thing, but in this case, I will say it's definitely a not all situation. Because I know plenty.
So the community that I'm talking about is the community that is actively speaking out against her. So
those people are pieces of shit, and they need to calm the fuck down.
Allow me to define who we're talking about before you start saying what they have to start doing.
Okay, cook, brother. Cook.
So you have inside a community, you have communities of communities, right? So like there's a community of people that's just out there trying to get through their day, and at the end of the day, most of us are just trying to get through their day. That is the majority of the population that we have on the planet. Is people who just need to get their work done, go home, enjoy their family, maybe have a beer or two, and go on have their 6 days of vacation every year. But then you have the people who are actively trying to push their agenda and their views on everybody else, that need to have some sort of validation of their own views in order to get through their day. And that's actually just two different types of people altogether. Inside each community, you have both of those communities trying to survive. And when it comes to the trans community, when I talk about the people who are looking to create problems for J.K. Rowling, or or see her as making problems for them. It is that aspect of the community that I'm talking about. So, I mean,
Fair.
if it comes off sounding like I'm including everybody into it, I'm just doing it for brevity's sake.
Okay. Yep.
Anyway, when it comes to the people that are actively opposed to J.K. Rowling, she has like dug her claws into speaking out against the things that they are standing.
I'd
up.
more classified as her just standing her ground and not giving in, and that pisses off a lot of people.
She is actively stirring up that hornet's nest all the time, and it's because it's in defense of what she believes, right? But
yeah,
she is an active participant in those brawls.
Yeah, that is fair. It's Time to Wake Up says, I tried explaining to Jake Paul fanboys how the Tyson fight was scripted.
Totally scripted.
Well, wasn't there like a moment
you can
where
see
like
it, you can see it in their actions, in the way that they like
wasn't
Tyson
there like
went to
a
go
moment
for a punch and then totally
wasn't there like a moment where Tyson was actually starting to like get into the boxing, and then Jake Paul kind of locked him up for a moment. You could hear him whisper in the ear, and then like Tyson,
gives him a little pat on the stomach to be like, hey, like simmer down there, buddy. Yeah, no, it's or a pat on the shoulder. It was like a little thing. But and there was a time when Tyson totally had
like
him.
80 years old, Tyson would like just demolish Jake Paul.
Well, there was a time where Tyson was coming right up over top of his guard, saw that he was going to hit completely clean, and just took it off the table. Like he was coming all the way over and then just stopped. And there was no reason that Tyson, anybody, especially Tyson, would have pulled that punch. So that tells me it was scripted. But yeah, so getting back to this art versus artist, I think there's like, at least I look at it as there being three different things that kind of puts people on either side of an artist. And one's going to be their politics, the other one's going to be their personality, and then their morals. So you have someone like a Bill Cosby or Hulk Hogan. Their personality is totally fine. Politics aren't a problem typically for anybody. But their morals have come into question, which is, like you're bringing up the N-word, or of course Cosby taking advantage of the girls that were around him. That's a moral problem, and I think that ends up becoming difficult because of the hypocrisy that's in it. Because Bill Cosby was supposed to be that
he was America's dad.
Well,
he was America's
dad. Yeah. And then Hulk Hogan, eat your vitamins.
Eat your vitamins.
Listen.
Eat your vegetables. Take your vitamins.
Eat your vegetables. Take your vitamins. Do your chores. But so the hypocrisy of it, right, becomes the problem. And so the reason that the person has a problem in the case of it being the personality is that we can't sort out the hypocrisy of it. We can't get past how we feel about what they're saying as opposed to how they're acting in life.
Okay, I have to read this. Cosby giving girls pudding pops.
There you go.
All right, I want to catch up with the comments real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's hear from the audience.
Orthodox Monk, hey, how you doing, buddy? Says, H.P. Lovecraft ended up really easing up on those kind of policing. He married a Jewish woman. Also, he didn't like other people if they were not a certain correct ethnic white root. Yeah, that's the thing that
was very common back then, though.
Yeah,
that was very
lost in the modern age, where like Italian, like being Italian, was
or Irish.
God, yeah, like for me, I'm Irish descent, so it's like,
Hail, brother. Also Irish descent.
Hey, laddie. And then Jay just coming in there with like the haymakers. The Joss Whedon allegations is not too pretty either. I'm not mistaken. Most of Buffy season.
What do you think the next one? What do you think the next one's going to be? Because this is always happening. So it's always happening. So give me
Pedro
a prediction.
Pascal.
Who do you think is going to be the next one? Oh,
Pedro Pascal. It's obvious. It's already happening. Like people are already turning on him. Like the way he's like touching these women.
Yeah.
I think Vanessa Kirby might be a bit of a willing participant because like she initiates a lot of the touches.
Totally. Well,
I would not be surprised
publicly,
if it turns out that they've been having an affair and the baby's actually his. That would be wild.
Dang.
But I guarantee you, Pedro Pascal, there's gonna see. I think a lot of it is he's protected by Hollywood, and the moment they're done with him, all those allegations are come out at once. He's gonna be a fallen star. Pedro Pascal.
Oh, definitely.
And it's already happening. His fall's already happening.
I think Kevin Feige might end up being one, and Brie Larson, when she's actually finally washed up and out the door, she's going to come out with a tell-all book about why she did what she did and how she got.
I'm surprised Scarlett Johansson hasn't already, because she's already pretty pissed. I think she I think it's because Scarlett still gets roles outside of Disney. She doesn't want to fully rock the boat. But I'm pretty sure in 10 years, when Scarlett is fully done with Hollywood, she's going to write a tell-all book, and that's going to be pretty wild. I have social anxiety. Where are the women letting me touch their boobs?
Yeah, my social anxiety is going through the roof right now.
I mean, if I had a wife and she let me use her boobs as stress balls, that'd be great. But that's just one woman who gives me permission. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I don't know why. It really sprang up over just the last year with him too.
I disagree.
Never apparent before.
That I disagree. I feel like that's kind of like a cope, or it's like a narrative, because the Pedro Pascal fatigue has been going on for a year, maybe two.
I'm talking about the anxiety thing. His anxiety thing only sprung up over the last year and a half.
Because I saw this counter narrative that a lot of Disney shows are trying to post, what's with the sudden hate for Pedro? It just came out of nowhere. It's not like people have been talking about it for the past 2 years or so.
Yeah, I've never. I can't think of anything that I've actually liked.
Jason, I am sending Sydney Sweeney to your house right now. She's going to show you just how great her jeans are.
Ooh.
It's because you see
Rapaldi. Get that eagle rising. Yeah.
Ooh, my Phoenix is rising, that's for sure. The pedaling of it will be. I can't wait for the ESAs.
Yeah.
All right, so you get it twice. You're redheaded, thus to them you're soulless and Irish. I mean, I'm kind of a half breed. I'm a strawberry blonde. I'm both soulless and brainless. So
the chat is always right.
Yes, chat is always correct. Jason Ingram is happy. But yeah, it's always kind of interesting.
So another aspect to this is, I think, what we end up seeing is the celebrities and stuff going into the politics, which really I don't think the politics. I think is actually the smallest reason that people find that they have to try and separate art, but then their personality behind it. So you look at a Rachel Zegler, or a
weird.
Yeah. And I think that becomes the biggest problem. It's actually just their personality. And that's again, going into Pedro with his whole anxiety bullshit thing. It's if this is who your personality is, stay the fuck away from my entertainment. I don't need it, don't want it. And your personality, the personality, I think, of the artist ends up dictating the most hate towards whatever it is that they're doing.
And I think the other thing is the artist still needs to put out good art, because I think a Rachel Zegler versus Brie Larson comparison is a pretty interesting thing to make, because Brie Larson, there's a lot to hate about her, but at the same time, she does do some good work. I liked her in Scott Pilgrim, Kong Skull Island. She was
smoking in Scott Pilgrim.
She left me envious.
But
she can be a decent actress when she wants to be, and even outside of interviews, when she's not doing politics, she can be kind of charming. She can be kind of fun to watch in interviews, entertaining. Whereas Rachel Zegler, I liked her in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but every interview, she just seems grating. And yes, she's a very good-looking woman. So like if I have to, I'll put a gimp ball in her mouth.
Sure.
You know,
I don't
like
know.
she's a very attractive woman. That's about where the appeal lasts. Like, you know.
Sure, but I mean, like, there's attractive women are a dime a dozen now.
Yeah, and it's like you gotta have the personality to match. Like this is why,
Yeah.
like, you know, you know, like I think that's why Scarlett Johansson has had such a successful career is because, yes, she's an attractive woman, but she's also a damn good actress. Like she's actually legit a very good actress, and she just seems like a fun person to be around. Like he seems like that kind of person where like, yeah, you're an attractive woman, but like, hey, let's just have a beer and just hang out and have fun or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
like
32% less interesting to be around since the operation though.
Okay, speaking of operations, can I just say, what the fuck is up with like the young Hollywood starlets and getting all the fat removed from their cheeks? Like,
what?
Did you see?
Talk
what
about the
to,
worst trend ever. Oh my goodness!
Like, it looks okay, kind of on Anna Taylor-Joy because she's got the alien face to begin with, but like, it happened to the Wednesday star. Like she had like this
Wednesday star.
Gosh, Pence is a better looking woman. Oh god,
what's her name from The Boys was doing that as well. Perfectly, fantastically homespun, attractive women that are now almost broken because of that trend.
Like oh my gosh, they look like you just know that in like
cadaverous.
5 years
you look cadaverous.
There's going to be a trend of getting that fat injected back in. You know, it's going to look even weirder. You know, they're going to have like they're going to have like these you're going to see a lot of women with like chipmunk faces.
Yeah, I wonder what it is going to look like when they're like 60 years old after all of that, because that's going to be
no
like
one wants to see a girl
like
with
the
a flat
plastic
ass.
surgery. We've seen the plastic surgery of 20 or 30 years ago where they look super stretched now, right? And now we've seen that the Botox of 10 years ago makes it so that their face just looks dead. You know, and they have like, it looks like all their features have kind of moved together. And now I wonder what this is going to end up looking like in 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
These people.
Yeah. I really hope we see a trend of aging gracefully. Because especially like with
never going to happen.
Well, the thing is, millennials, we got the fountain of youth here. You know, we look, you know, like I don't know what it is. I'm 36. I look younger than most Gen Z 10 years younger than me. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I don't know where I fit in the scale, but I'm turning 47 this year.
What year were you born?
No, I'm turning 47 this year, so I don't know where I fit in the scale of looking better than Gen Z or whatever.
I mean, it looks
looking
good,
younger than my age. Yeah, I don't know if I look. Yeah,
I mean, you look like late 30s to me, so you're doing something right.
There we go.
Saw the best meme the other day. It was just a skeleton engraved, and there's a plastic balloon lives in plastic.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that meme too. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, I don't know, and it's interesting kind of watching the celebrities go through what they're going through because, you know, there's an aspect, there's kind of the flip side of this as well, where it's like, just as audience grapple with separating art from the artists, creators have to separate, they have to learn to separate their audience from their customers. And not every fan who loves, you know, your work endorses your every action, and not every critic, you know, is necessarily an enemy. So artists should create, you know, like they have to create things with integrity, but knowing that their audience appreciates the work, but not necessarily the person. And I think that because that hasn't really happened, I think, you know,
because the thing we got to realize is, for every one person that's on the stream, you know, comments regularly. Like, I love you guys. You are the top tier people here. Okay, I love you. But for every one of those people, for every successful creator, for every one person who is a regular on the stream, there's like 10 people who are silently supporting them. You know, they never interact, they never comment on their tweets, but they buy their books, they back the Kickstarter
easily. The
know,
vast
there's-
majority of your audience are people that are never going to be in the
and that makes it really
comments.
hard as a creator because
Yeah.
you're used to like saying stuff and then getting feedback and you get feedback like, okay, maybe that's not what you guys wanted. Okay, it's like it's kind of like a back and forth, and I enjoy that. But like if you have like the silent people and like they don't like it, you don't get the feedback. That's kind of difficult. And then we got Tank Fair in the chat. That is freaking awesome. Hail, you beautiful bastard. We love you.
Cheers, brother.
Pence just messes me that he's going in for his BBL tomorrow. Oh no, we're getting Ghoul Pence. No, I don't want that. See,
He's
I
upgrading.
I want to be a silent contributor, but I can't shut the F up. Yeah, that's fine, said Raven. So, Swelling Bandito. Just so you realize, Pence is another co-host on the channel. He usually does the Tuesday.
Oh, I thought we were talking like Mike Pence or something going into
No,
to get upgraded. Yeah.
Pence is another co-host, and
Okay.
Pence has his own fan base on this channel. So, like,
Uh-oh.
it's time to wake up. He is a Pence fans first, a Phoenix Fest fan second. Like, he still supports us at this school, but he is a Pence
Well,
fan
he's
first.
here. He's here today, and there is no Pence. So today he is
We
a
are
Phoenix
Penceless.
Press.
We are Penceless.
Yeah.
We apologize.
He is a Phoenix Press fan solely.
Getting a big booty Latina. I am on Tuesday.
What? Like mail order, or what are we talking about?
It's a mail order Latina.
Oh, okay. Well, send me the link later.
That was a joke, by the way. He
Aw.
wants to be the baddest big booty Latina on the block. Oh gosh. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You're just waiting. You're wading into a whole like you're basically Smiling Bandito. It's like, oh god, we got a super chat. Ingram says, I forgot I was gonna do this. Here is what I can give. Now where is my DeLorean? It is we're filling the order right now. It should be delivered in about 5 days. 5 seconds if you actually do the Mr. Fusion shipping package. Oh gosh,
Time is relative, so he both has it and doesn't have it already.
it's Schrodinger's DeLorean. So
But yeah, I think that something that kind of goes along with realizing that the audience is the vast majority isn't directly interacting in the chat and stuff, is also kind of the understanding that the celebrities or anybody who's doing a stream or show or whatever, the artist is there to entertain the audience. The audience isn't there to be the entertainer's consumer, right? And I think because we've gotten this backwards so drastically over the years, the celebrities have kind of disconnected from who their audience is, which is why you have someone like Ziegler kind of getting in front of the camera and saying like, oh, we didn't want to go with the original. The original premise was just weird. And, because of that disconnect, she thinks that the audience is there to consume what she's doing, as opposed to she's there to entertain the audience. Right.
Mhm.
And I think that creates, that attitude and personality trait, because it becomes a personality trait. Brie Larson has it. Ziegler has it. They take it for granted. And I think that the audience being betrayed in that fashion makes it so that you can't separate the art from the artist. I think that becomes one of those things that absolutely 100% dictates that whatever project that they're working on is going to end up flopping, because they have created a relationship to the audience that you are there to consume what I make.
Yeah, and there's a common phrase among the indie circles. And Smiling Bandito, you might have heard what I'm about to say, is people don't support your comic, they support you. I'm Bandito, I'm sure you've heard that phrase.
There's a lot of that, especially with indie comics, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think indie comics is kind of in this interesting place, because as indie creators, which we both are, we have this direct line to our audience. Like, for example, Orthodox, Keeley, Hooded, Tank Ferret. These are all people that I interact with on a daily basis, and I talk with them, and I have a
Mhm.
better idea of what they want. It's I wouldn't say it's a whole 50-50 relationship, but it's a lot more skewed than it would be like a simple celebrity, because like celebrities for the past 100 years like were raised on like it was like you're a celebrity and there's 100% disconnect between you and your audience, and then social media kind of changed that, and I feel like like the newer celebrities like Sydney Sweeney are starting to understand that, and I think that's why some newer celebrities like Glenn Powell and whatnot, I think that's why a lot of them are getting success, is because they understand the current environment, whereas a lot of the older guard don't. They think, oh, I put out Hit Moody, everyone loves me, I could do no wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think too they have once they kind of hit a certain level, they have a group of people that are around them that will ensure their success no matter what. Because I mean, the rise and fall of stars is largely dependent upon the producers of the work. So it's the production companies, right? Like
Yeah, like a lot of
a
these
record.
celebrities.
It
Sorry,
used
go
to be
ahead.
the record labels that made. It used to be the record labels that made musicians successful or not successful, right? And all it would take is a record label putting out the call saying, "We're not allowing this person. We're not doing a tour for this guy again," and suddenly they fall off the grid, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
like a
these
lot of
one-hit wonders.
celebrities,
Mhm.
they were taught to, you don't please your audience, you please the producer.
Producers.
It was basically, celebrities they made a career off of pleasing the string pullers, the directors, producers. They're not used to pleasing their audience. So like your
Yeah.
average Hollywood starlet really only needs to please like at most 20 people, whereas your indie
Yeah.
creator has to please hundreds, thousands of people all at the same time. So
Yeah.
we have it harder.
Well, I don't think so, but I understand what you're saying.
I was
We
being
have
like
we have it harder, but I
I
think
was half joking when I said that. Yeah.
that yeah. I think the we don't have it harder, but we have different problems, and
Yeah.
and the being your own producer means that you got to think like a producer, right? Like you are the one that you're your own production company. You have to think in a way that is going to engage the audience in order to entertain, right? And when you entertain the audience, that opens up the door for them to want to invest in what you're doing, right? And so if you but I see a lot of indie creators. Sorry, I don't like to talk bad about the industry openly, but
Yeah.
for those who are
Yeah.
who
That's
are listening and trying to find new ways to kind of promote yourself, I think it's important that you don't look at the audience as having to consume your product, right? Be there for the audience to entertain them and that kind of stuff. And when you are kind of trying to shill your books and that kind of stuff, which this is a great segue moving into a Screecher here eventually.
I am getting. Yep. I already got the link pulled
Yeah,
up.
but when we are looking to promote the work that we're doing, we want to make sure that the audience is entertained so that they know that they want to keep us around.
All right. Well, in
Right?
that case,
So
I have a question for the comment section. This is a very important question. I need you guys to answer it. Are you entertained? Are you not entertained? I need. I'm sorry. I was holding that one in as soon as
I'm entertained.
I was waiting to drop that one. But speaking of being entertained, and thank you for reminding me. Wait, I want to do think first, count first. The popular mode of thought seemed to be if first is burn don't succeed, Spurg harder. Yeah. As a Spurg myself, I like to Spurg all over the place.
Yeah,
and now I made it.
We've all been there. We're all emotional people.
Yeah, women don't like me because I Spurg too quickly.
Yeah.
It's Spurg all over the place. Okay, this is getting bad. Tank Ferret, I can dance if I want to. I can leave all my friends behind. If my friends don't dance, then they no friends of mine. All right, all you beautiful bastards. It is shill time. So we got Screecher is still in signups. We're at 39 followers. So we just need one more beautiful bastard, one more exquisite soul to sign up to be notified when we go live. The link is in the comments below to hit 40. So if any of you guys have not signed up yet, please consider doing so, and I would be very, very helpful. Stop making me laugh. So I guess it's safe to say that Jason Ingram is entertained. And that's just what I try to do with these streams. Like, I just want to have fun, you know. Like, there's so many streams where people are just like complaining about stuff, saying, "Oh, this sucks." You know, I just want to have fun, you know, fun, joke around, have good discussions, maybe play some games. And while you're at it, you guys can harass me as you guys want to do.
Well, all of those things are important, especially the harassment. We need 32% more harassment in the chat.
Yeah. Don't encourage them.
I don't think encouragement is what they need.
They need some Screecher in their lives. That's what they need.
Yeah.
So,
when it comes back...
what's another artist, creator that you think is another, like, separate art from the artist?
Rage Against the Machine. I think with the
Tank Ferret
housing.
Yeah, Tank Ferret. I think you're doing some really good. I think you're doing some screeching good fan art or something. You asked for some material, so yeah, I look forward to
that. There's the potential that Tank Ferret and I are going to be working on a project together. I have something in mind for him, but he needs to clean up his plate a little bit so that he's got room for the meal that I have prepared. So,
I mean, you can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat.
It's true. It's true. And no, I have actually something really interesting if he ends up coming over to the team. And we've been talking back and forth. And I'm not spoiling anything because there's nothing like in writing currently. But we have definitely talked about working together. So
since you're teasing something, I feel the need to also tease something. This is actually going to be the first time I've mentioned it publicly. So if you guys remember, at the beginning of the year, I was teasing this spy comic called Quartermain that Forrester and I were working on, and then we kind of stopped it to work on Screecher. Well, I'll just say you guys might be in for a good Christmas surprise this year.
Ooh, look at those tables turning.
Yes, that is all I'm going to say on the matter. I've had some discussion with Forrester, and we're shooting for some stuff, but I will be giving more details. I'm stoked for it too, Bandito. I should be free by springtime. Pence. What do we want? I'm telling you, like you're talking about fan groups within fan groups. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
But you were mentioning Rage Against the Machine before we went off in a different direction.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine is they become incredibly divisive with their politics and stuff. And as somebody who was against government overreach and was all about not accepting the system standards. I mean, they kind of went all in on the whole conformity with
same thing happened to Dee Snider. He went from telling the government to go F itself to telling regular people to go F themselves if they don't follow the government. Because remember, Dee Snider is the one who went into Congress and told Al Gore straight to his face that his wife is into some kinky shit. The balls it takes to do that. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
No, but that's okay.
But there was a hearing.
I know the players. Yeah.
There's a hearing in the 80s about metal music, and Dee Snider went in to testify wearing the ripped jeans and whatnot. And he had this whole speech.
Yeah.
And he was speaking, and he implied that Tipper Gore was into sadomasochism directly to Al Gore. Al Gore was literally 5 feet from him.
Yeah, well, all of those. those aren't secrets anymore. All those people are into some freaky deaky shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, all of those bands that we idolized in the '90s were against conformity and the system, and I mean, Green Day was
Meanwhile, Johnny Rotten
birthed out
is
of a
just
political movement.
I gotta say, the one person who has been a punk this whole time is Johnny Rotten.
Yeah, Johnny Rotten. I don't know if he's. I haven't heard anything about the guy in a long time.
He wears the hat now.
Yeah. Oh, he wears the mega hat.
Yeah, he's a MAGA.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's still conforming. I mean, it doesn't matter which side it's from. It's like, conforming is conforming.
Well, you could say in the 2010s it was punk rock to be, conservative or whatever. But that's a whole nother discussion right there.
Yeah. But I think politics. You got your Alan Moores and your Rages Against the Machine. You got your morals, which is like Bill Cosby and Hulk Hogan that you kind of have your expectations for, and then you have personalities like Rachel Zegler, Pedro Pascal, Brie Larson,
like
these types. That
I think I've kind of mixed feelings. Like there's speculation of like, what would Kurt Cobain be like if he was alive today? It's probably one of the best things that happened to him that he passed away. I know that's like
what? That's a hot take.
It's a bit of a Peter Pan syndrome. Because he's perpetually, in the best way possible.
Well, that's the thing with Hulk Hogan, right? He lived long enough to see himself booed out of the arena.
Because Kurt Cobain was,
and he was devastated. He was devastated by that. Apparently, what's his name? Jimmy the Heart was on an interview not too long ago.
Yeah.
I've
met Jimmy Hart.
How Hogan felt that very personally when he got. Booed out
he has a mega hat. It just says Rock Man. Oh gosh.
But yeah, I think the other aspect to all this is that there's like a bit of a sliding scale as to how much we accept from an artist based upon how much we simply like the stuff that they create.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we end up putting up with a lot of stuff based upon how much we want to love it.
And there's also the factor of being nostalgically tied to a piece of art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
like for example, I watched Buffy. Kind of like a formative time in my life. Like it was like right after I got out of high school, and it was kind of a chaotic time in my life. And watching the DVDs of Buffy was like one of the few stable parts of my day or whatever. So I have like really good memories of that. All right, Tank Ferret's got to run. Like, share, and hit that bell, everyone. Smack it like it owes you money.
Cheers, brother.
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
But you look at Joss Whedon, Neil Gaiman, these guys.
Neil Gaiman's another one that lived long enough to see himself become the villain.
Yeah, I know, and sell out like crazy. Like this guy held on to his IP for so long, saying that unless it's made absolutely perfectly, he's not going to give he's not going to rubber stamp anything. And
tried getting into Buffy, but it kept buffering. Boo! Your joke is bad, and you should feel bad. And we got Jeffrey here over on X saying Buffy and Angel are dope. That is true.
I really liked Angel. I didn't get into Buffy when it first started airing. But then I got into it by the end, and then when Angel came.
Sorry, I'm hitting. It's time to wake up the horny bat. Sorry.
The horny what? I was
horny bat.
Horny. You were getting horny.
No. It's time to wake up.
Slay me any day. Yeah.
Yeah.
She. Yeah. I lost my train of thought, but that's okay.
You thought of Faith.
I wasn't thinking of Faith.
You gotta have faith. Oh god.
But yeah, I think we end up having the sliding scale of stuff that we're willing to put up with when it comes to an artist, simply because the difficulty in finding new things for us to appreciate and enjoy is the older that we get. I think it's like it becomes near impossible to find things that you really truly like take into our soul.
And even if we do find new things, it's easier for us to leave it aside than the older stuff because it's been with us less. We don't have the strong attachment to it. Like let's say you find new game series when you're 42 years old. You know, let's say you start playing Final Fantasy 14 at 12 years old. At 12 years old, I mean you could. At 42 years old, you know, but like you started playing World of Warcraft when you were 22 years old. You've been playing World of Warcraft, you know, so it's like it's a lot easier to just ditch Final Fantasy 14 and go back to WoW than it is to just like stay, you know, in the reverse. You know what I'm saying?
It's easy to ditch any Final Fantasy after 10 rather easily, just because that's the end of their heyday anyway.
That is a hot take. You're about to so the biggest surprise to me is when I learned there are Final Fantasy 13 stands.
Okay.
I know there's people who define Final Fantasy 12. I know there's people who defend that, and that's fair. And I will say Final Fantasy 14 is kind of interesting. 15, the problem is the first half is actually kind of fun. It's open world. You're kind of taking the story as you go. There's a lot of side activities. But then the last half is just railroaded. It's just like a race to the finish, and it just becomes less fun.
I think they've all become less fun since 10. I think that they've had some interesting mechanics, and they've introduced some, you know, good aspects in their games since 10. But their golden age is over at 10. And I'd even take it a step back. I mean, 10 at least had a good storyline. They lost it after 9. So I would say 4 to 9 is and the very first. I have a soft spot for the first one, but 4 to 9 is as good as Final Fantasy gets.
2 is pretty good.
Unless you include like Parasite Eve, Legends of Dragoon.
Oh, those aren't Final Fantasy, but those, like, the PlayStation was Square's golden age. That is, I think, unequivocally true.
Yeah.
So that, like, they were just pumping it, like,
they're loosely tied in. Parasite Eve. Yeah.
Well, they're
Parasite Eve and the Legends of Dragoon are loosely tied in.
Kind of. Legend of Dragoon, like, Square had nothing to do with Legend of Dragoon. That was Sony's doing. I gotta flip to see if the remake is bad.
The remake is trash.
It does that.
It's not even a remake.
It does that whole.
It's a spiritual remake, but it's not a
reboot remake. I mean, we get confused with like port, remaster, remake, reimagining, or whatever.
You know what? We're talking about like art. Okay, when you look at the Final Fantasy VII remake, artistically, it is inferior to the original. I'm not saying the graphics, like the graphics are way better, obviously, and it is beautiful. The Final Fantasy VII remake is a thing of. I wish every Final Fantasy game could be as beautiful as that. Though I do like the pixel art as well.
But what's weird for me is going from original Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy VII remake. Remake feels a lot more claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's narrative. It's paced in a crazy way. There's cutscenes for everything. Red's voice is absolute trash. Even the chocobo breeder, the chocobo farmer, like what the fuck were they thinking with that? Nothing. Every change that they made the game worse. So everything that they kept the same was fantastic. Even like when you look at when I don't know, there's so many things, and then they like added stuff in from like a side story or whatever. There was like some sort of written side story that never got into the game. They added that, which actually like created an extra like I'm the main character now type of moment for a side story that didn't matter at all in any way, shape, or form. There was nothing that they added that made Final Fantasy VII a better game than the original Final Fantasy VII. Visually, it looks better, but that's
It's playable at least. Like it's one of those
Yeah.
games where like you play it once, you'd be like, yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it, and then like
I'm
maybe
sorry, Angelus. Yeah.
But
I'm
have you ever
sorry.
checked out Dragon Quest? Because I've been really getting into Dragon Quest because like I've been
I've played it. I played it since it was Dragon Warrior. I still have it on my Dragon Warrior on my shelf.
because I've played a good chunk of Dragon Quest 11. That's really good, and they recently came out with the Dragon Quest 3 remake, and oh my god, that thing is fun. It is a great remake.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at the remake for that yet. But Dragon Quest, I
should.
mean,
They 2D HD'd it up, and it looks gorgeous. It is great.
nice, nice.
Hooded Raven. The reason why you're getting that confused is because Akira Toriyama did the art for both Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball. That's why like the Dragon Quest characters look similar because of the same artist.
Yeah, that actually was a very small community back then. The people who were making all those games, they all knew each other, right? And you know, you kind of have, that's why like you have certain names that ended up anchoring themselves into the developers community, and they're the only names that we know. It's like for some way, somehow they have their fingers in every single
Like
game.
Yuji Naka, Nobuo Uematsu,
Yeah.
you know, Kojima, you know, or whatever.
I was going to butcher all the names, so I didn't want to like start trying to rattle them off.
I've only played like a third of FF7 Remake. I'm not going to say it's a bad game. I need to kind of play more of it.
On its own, other than the pacing I thought was everywhere. But it's fast and slow. There's like cutscenes that break everything up when it's like you just kind of needed to move into the next thing. Other than the pacing, the game itself is fine on its own as its own game.
Mhm.
But it is, everything that they added is worse than what the original did. And the original was just more artistically more
I think the issue is
aware.
here's
than the
what I
new
think. Here's what I think the problem is. Like I can imagine if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, playing it for the first time in 2025, the game is a bit rough around the edges, you know. And I think for the people who played FF7 as their first game, and they fall in love with that, and I can see a scenario where they play FF7 remake, and they go back and try and play the original, and they can't because the mechanics can be a bit like tough to kind of get around.
Oh, yeah, that's just from game to game though, and that's totally, I accept that. And
So
the fact
think
that they
the people
updated
who
the
played
mechanics is totally fine.
I totally like what I'm trying to say is I totally understand people. If FF7 remake was your first time playing FF7 and you love it and you hate the original, I can totally understand why people would think that way. I disagree. I think FF7 original is better, but it is a perfectly legitimate position because I totally understand why someone like the thought process. So, Jay William, I'm going to say this. Your opinion is valid, my friend. Your opinion is valid. Sorry, I got a little bit worked up.
I'm with it's time to wake up. I'm with that guy. I'm with I agree with him. Final Fantasy VII Remake is the reason I wouldn't want to see a final or a Chrono Trigger.
If they do a 2D
well.
HD version of Chrono Trigger, then I'm down. Otherwise, I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, if they did like they did the Pixel remaster for the Final Fantasy games, if they did that for Chrono Trigger, I'd be okay with that.
So,
but they don't really need it. I think it actually the Chrono Trigger is like Final Fantasy VI. They both aged well. So
yeah. So Orthodox Monk says, but did you play Dragon Quest XI? I have actually. I'm a good chunk of the way through it. I think I just got through the Rainbow storyline where you're just getting the Rainbow. You played at Dragon Quest XI, you know where I am, and a little bit beyond that. I can't remember exactly where I am. I need to play it some more. Apparently, Hayao Miyazaki. Oh, Miyazaki is another person that we can talk about.
Another movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miyazaki is definitely another person. in the separating art from the artist because he's kind of a bastard in his personal life. Honestly, like the way you hear him talk. Like I remember,
Yeah.
like his own son did a
I think
movie,
that's what.
and he insulted his
Yeah.
own son's movie at the premiere or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude.
Well, it wasn't as good. I think that's the kind of person you have to be in order to make the stuff that he does. Like, this was another thing about the art from the artist, if you wanted to tie it back. I think for some of these people, you have to be the personality that you are in order to make the art that you do. And there's
I
a
can
thing
see that.
about there's an old stage play where there's a dialogue between a man and a woman, and the man is like, the art is intrinsically tied, or the art is intrinsically separated from the artist, in that the art will exist forever and ever and ever, and the artist doesn't have to be there for the viewer to be able to appreciate it. And the woman is like, no, the art is the artist, because what is the message coming from the art if the artist isn't saying anything? And even over years and years and years and years of time, the artist is still speaking to you, even if it's the first time that you're seeing it, and they have.
I mean,
passed
what
away
is
hundreds of
art?
Years ago.
I mean, what is art if
Yeah.
not a quest for immortality?
No, maybe.
Because
No,
because the thing is, most people are forgotten within 2 or 3 generations. Okay, like
Right.
basically you die. Like, let's say you live the normal life and you have kids, grandkids, or whatever. Okay, so
Mhm.
you die. Your kids remember you. Your grandkids remember you. Maybe your grandkids' kids kind of know of you from stories. But beyond that, you're just a name in a book. Maybe a photograph on the
Right.
wall. That's all most people.
you don't have to create art. You don't need to create art to have a legacy, though. And the art that you create doesn't necessarily need to be for a legacy, if that's not the message that the artist is trying to give. Like, I mean, there's a whole philosophy.
I don't think you
a whole
get what I'm
Zen
trying to say here.
philosophy.
But
I'm just saying art doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I
trying
get
to
that,
find
but I
immortality.
get that, but I'm still making my point here. You kind of interrupted me
Okay.
mid-thing. You know, because like I subscribe to the whole you do not die until people stop thinking about you. Like when the memory of you dies, that is your true death.
Mhm.
You know, so like when someone dies that you love, as long as you keep them in your head, they are never truly gone.
Right.
Like that's like it's a philosophy thing.
Like
I'll
Coco.
admit. What?
Yeah. No, that's Coco, the movie Coco from.
Fine,
Disney.
fine, fair enough. They stole my idea, whatever. But like, one of the reasons people create art is a quest for immortality. Like, are we still not talking about Homer? Thousands of years later, Plato, you know, Mary Shelley, like all of these people who created works of art. You know, Picasso. You know,
But you look at in the same vein. You look at, and I'm sorry to disagree, but I'm going to totally
no,
take. I'm going to
disagree all
totally
you
give
want.
you
Disagree all you want.
I'm going to give you a counterpoint here. Yeah. But you look at, you know, the what's the story? Please, sir, may I have some more? What was
Great
that?
Poupon. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
No.
I knew that was coming, Jay.
The writer, it was a writer from England who was getting paid by the word, and so we have these great works from him, but only because he was getting paid by the word. And so his stories would have been a fraction of the length and would have disappeared, except for the fact that he was trying to get paid that day, right? And so I don't necessarily think that he was looking for the guy who wrote the Christmas Carol. Why can't I think of his name now? I'm doing terrible.
I mean, the same thing we said for Edgar Allan Poe. You know, the reason he created such a large body of work is because that was his only source of income. So he was just creating stories to get paid. So, like, I'm saying it's just one way to look at it. Okay, like, like for example, Emily Dickens. Okay, here's another example.
Charles Dickens. That's his name.
No,
sorry, my bad.
Okay, but I'm like another example is Emily Dickens. No relations, obviously, but like the only reason we even know her name is because the person clearing out her house had the foresight to see her poetry, recognize it. So like literally, it is the grace of a person that I don't know the name of. Most people don't. The whole reason Emily Dickens is even remembered is because of a person who is largely forgotten. It's because one person saw these and thought, okay, I think like Emily Dickens died, not like because she just created all this work of poetry, not knowing if it would be whatever. But now Emily Dickens is immortal. Like it'll be 5,000 years from now, people will still be quoting Emily Dickens. You know what I'm saying? And,
right.
And
though I can't think of a single one of her quotes right now. But yeah.
But you know the name. You know the name.
Yeah, of course.
Lord Byron. Sorry.
So the aspect of separating the art from the artist, I think becomes even more difficult if the artist is trying to say something specifically to you. And we do talk about how all creators, there's like a message that they're trying to give. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think too, when something like, when we look at a situation like Bill Cosby, it becomes so difficult to separate the work from, the guy who created it.
Yeah.
And it's because, he was actually trying to say stuff through his show, right? Like he was trying to create a moral fiber throughout all of the work that he was doing that people would gravitate towards. And then it turns out that maybe he didn't carry that same moral fiber himself.
And the other thing is
it discredits what he's doing.
Yeah. And to kind of play off of that is you have some people who they're so reprehensible about stuff. You can't watch. It's harder for you to watch their stuff. Like for example, Kevin Spacey. Like I love the movie. I love the movie Baby Driver. It's a great movie. But every time I watch that movie, it's hard to watch the Kevin Spacey scene because I'm just like, oh, there's Kevin Spacey. And
that guy. All that I do wonder if that guy
great
is
actor, but it's hard for me to look at him. It's hard for me to look at him.
Yeah. Well, I do wonder if that guy is like a sociopath, which is why he's able to step into the roles that he does so well.
You can say that for a lot of actors.
Yeah. Well, and then this comes back to, does the artist have to be that person in order to create the art that he creates?
Yeah.
How do you end up separating that, right?
Yeah, I mean that also kind of ties into this. It's more of a leftist theory of like, you need to actually be the race to write them or create them or whatever.
No, that's bullshit. But actually, sorry.
I mean that also takes away from like
there comes an understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, like what if you're like a white guy raised in a Latino neighborhood and you know how those people operate better than some Latinas, you know what I'm saying? Because you were raised in that environment. Or what about
sometimes the exception?
Like I had a friend of mine.
Sometimes
I'm still talking. I have a friend of mine who was one of his stepfathers was a black guy, and he said he was like probably like more of a father than his own father, and he taught him a lot of his culture. Right. So it's like, where does the line end?
Yeah, but sometimes the exception proves the rule better than saying that it doesn't apply, because to understand certain aspects of Black culture, you do need to you have to really dig into it. And or for Native American culture, I mean, I grew up with, I grew up in and around the treaty lands that we have here in Canada,
right,
all my life, right? And my mom took Native studies when she was younger, while I was, going into some of my teenage years, and so I was like inundated with the culture. And when I hear some people talk about, even now, when I hear some people talk about, kind of the history and stuff, there's a massive revisionist history that is constantly taking place. And unless you've talked to the people who are the most closely living in those situations, or in whatever time period that they're talking about, or who the stories have actually been passed down to, you're not actually going to be able to write. You can't write one of their characters into a mythology. You can't write, their their cultural mindset. And this even goes back to like there's just certain words that don't translate, which means if the word isn't there, the concept for that word isn't in the culture. Otherwise, they would have a word for it, right?
Like, don't
And
some
so-
Native American cultures have like 5 different words for snow?
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, like in tribal cultures, they often don't have a word for. They'll have a word for repair, but they won't have a word for maintenance. So if something breaks, you repair it. They have a word for that. But to keep something from breaking, they don't have a word for it, because the stuff that they used to make was always like you use it until it breaks. When it breaks, you get a new one. And because of their lack of permanence, because they were nomadic, because they never stayed in a certain location or looked after something long enough, simply because of the needs of their culture, they never had a word for, I will look after this so that it lasts my entire life, right? Like they don't have a word for maintenance, which means the concept of that isn't in their culture. They don't have a concept of maintenance. So now when you try to write a character from that culture, and you talk about them being like a maintenance repairman, it's like, you know, people reading that are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Right? Even though it seems perfectly normal to everybody else outside of that culture. So that's the difference. But when we're not talking about that specifically, I mean, I don't think you have to be black in order to write black characters. I don't think you have to.
Well,
do that. But you should understand the concept of that you're trying to write in.
My approach when I create characters is I don't create black characters, I don't create white characters, I don't create gay characters. I create characters. Is I focus on, okay, what are these characters' motivations? What do they want? What is their backstory? You know,
what's their truth in the story? Yeah.
Yeah, what's their place in the story? I focus on that. You know, and like, sure, sometimes them being like man or woman or whatever, you know, but it's also like, oh, I have a gay character, you know, but like the fact that they're gay really has nothing to do with the only way you know they're gay is they talk about going back to their husband, you know.
Sure.
Like, oh, let me talk like oh, my husband's gonna be you have a friend character and they say, oh, I gotta go, my husband's gonna be furious, and then he runs off or whatever. You know, like it's just one line out of the whole entire story. You know, that to me is actual diversity. You know, it's like, because the problem is with a lot of writing is they make like being gay like the sole character trait, and to me I try to make it more like incidental. It's like, oh, being gay is like having red hair, it's just a part of your character, you know. Sure,
right.
you can touch upon
for
it,
not having a lot of gay characters in your writing, you're sure talking a lot about it right now. Speaking of your writing, for those who have just tuned in, what are you working on right now?
So, obviously we're doing Screecher, which, oh, you want to talk
people find Screecher?
Gosh, I hate you. So, like, speaking of diversity, there's literally a brown person on the cover, so shut the fuck up. Literally one of the, like, the second most important character, you know, it's like, but here's the thing, like, she's brown, like, she's Indian. She's supposed to be Indian. That's like a race, but like, the fact that it hardly gets mentioned. I don't even get mentioned at all. But like the fact that she's of this race is not even a factor. Like, it's not even brought up. She's just part of this world. Which, by the way, we're still trying to get to 40, so if you can help me. Oh, did somebody say Screecher? I get it. But yeah, like, just characters existing, really, because, like, in my opinion, characters are universal. You know, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You know, you still have, like, a very similar wants, desires. You want to be successful. You want to have a good family. You want to protect the people you love. It's kind of a universal truth kind of situation. And that's more what I focus on in my writing. As far as Lost Kingdom, I actually did have a meeting with the publisher, and we will be, and we are finalizing things. We should be going to print here in the next 2 weeks.
That's fantastic! Wow.
Yeah, what have you been working on?
Oh, man, I'm too busy to even start with the list. I've been working on a few things. We are going to be announcing a couple projects here that are coming up. One is with Jay Williams, who you saw in the chat earlier.
Nice.
And we have a very big announcement coming very soon. As soon as we get a few pieces of artwork put together here. And I've also, do you remember Kimosabi?
Sounds familiar.
Kimosabi, a man named Kimosabi. He wrote a book called Company Men.
That sounds familiar.
I'm working with him for the production of number 2 on that.
Nice.
And then I have my own book, Black as Hell, that I've been working on for quite some time. But the times caught up to it. So I kind of held on to that script for too long. And then as times changed, it became like, you know how things like, you know how we all enjoyed those high school movies that had actors that were too old to be high schoolers, and they would invariably like end up walking around naked somewhere or coming out of the pool topless and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which was fun while we were kids. When we were teenagers and watching that stuff, that was super, super hot. But then now as an adult thinking, okay, that's supposed to be a 16 or 17-year-old.
I mean, I like moving in stereo.
Yeah, it doesn't quite translate as easily as we would want for it now. So my script actually ended up having that kind of a problem. So I've had to go back and rework the whole thing in order to make sure that it's like it fits it appropriately fits the times.
Speaking of like times kind of moving on, something similar happened. So like I created one of my first comics in like 2006, Project Axis, which actually the first one I made back in like 2018, 2020. And when I first wrote it, the main character was given a car by this older gentleman, and it was a 2006 Cobalt SS, which was meant to be a new car at the time. And by the time I got around to actually publishing it, it was over 10 years later. And it's still a 2006 Cobalt SS, but now it's more of just like, I've taken care of this car forever. And I kept it the same year. It's kind of like a tribute to like when I started kind of thing.
Right.
And now it's like, oh, here's this brand new car. I got it 2 weeks ago, to where, oh, I've been diligently keeping this car maintained for the last 10 plus years. Here, you need something, take care of it. I don't care, whatever. You know, so it's just kind of like when you mentioned that, it was funny. No, she is Indian. Her Shiva's name is Chandra Main. You know, that could kind of give you a little hint about things. But yeah.
But
have you
seen,
by the way, have you seen the Screecher teaser?
No, let's pop it up.
Yep. So I edited this myself. It came out pretty good, I would say. Let me just gonna pull it up here. There.
Looks cool. You know, there was one panel that I saw that I was just like, oh wait, this is actually like kind of like, because oftentimes we see a lot of artwork, we see a lot of panels, we see a lot of ways that things are done. Mm-hmm. But that panel where there was that chain going around it and you're looking through it to the guy who was, you know, obviously attacking or whatever. That was like really dynamic. That was a really good.
Yeah,
that
that
was a really good-
was from issue 2. Let me pull up the page. So I'm gonna show you about it. It came out really well, I would say. All right, let me get to it. There we go. There you go. Here's the page. Yeah, this is from Screecher issue 2. So a lot of people already have this, but yeah, here's that's a page on its own.
Okay, yeah. No, that looks really cool. That's a very dynamic shot. If I had a criticism to make, it's that I don't know who the villains are for Screecher, and I think that you need to.
Well, you haven't read the book then, so.
No, but I'm saying that for someone like me, who's just kind of looking at it, you need to bring out some of those villainous things, because knowing who the villain is and knowing the danger that she faces, my next question becomes, who can stop this, right?
Well, I'm showing you like pages in isolation. It's kind of hard to like discern stuff when it's just like random stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in your promotional material, definitely you should show because like that shot super dynamic. This one is super dynamic with the chain flying across the page, across the panel. But yeah, you gotta promote that danger so that people are just like, who can stop this? Who can save us now?
Who can save us?
Yeah.
And because I'm feeling pretty generous, and also I just paid the letterer for the first 6 pages, so we'll be getting that here soon. And then
nice.
Here are some colors.
It's good to see things moving forward.
These are colors for issue 4.
Very cool.
Yeah. Kind of wanted to show these. So yeah. So bro, never give me the open invitation to randomly throw stuff. Fair enough. But yeah, so the art is done by Forrester, who is new for this issue, and then we got Ardent Black, who this is their 3rd time working on the book. But yeah, like here are the colors, and Ardent is just doing an amazing job here. I am very happy.
Good to hear.
That's issue 4, by the way. So
we still gotta wait for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be launching October 3rd. But yeah, we are well on our way. So yeah, I think for the rest of the stream, we'll do like a little bit of a Q&A, kind of just random conversations. So chat, if you have anything you'd like to ask me, feel free. And Smiling Bandito, if you'd like to ask me anything, like why the hell am I on the stream?
But the audience can't ask me anything, and you can't ask me anything.
I was gonna ask you how many licks it takes to get the center of a Tootsie Roll. I guess the world's never gonna know.
Not today. I don't know. I think it was a really good discussion. What are some of the artists that you have you not been able to separate the art from? Is there any on your list?
There's some in the indie space, I would say, but I'm not going to go any further than that.
No.
But I will say there are some indie ones. And that's kind of the problem, where indie is such a personality-based space, to where if people don't like you, you will have a harder, like you could have the best comic in the world, but if you're a bit of an a-hole and you're just constantly just grading people the wrong way, you're not going to sell your books.
Yeah. The thing too to remember is that like none of our books are changing the world. We're not moving the needle in any way, shape, or form. And
I don't know about you. I'm curing world hunger with these books.
Yeah. Well, until that happens, until that you got a proven track record of those starving children being dead. Until that happens, you can just move on to the next movie.
Yeah.
Right? So
we are entertainment peddlers.
Yeah. If you end up being a jerk, if you end up having to, if you're tearing people down, especially in the audience or whatever, then you're going to find that it's going to be very difficult to attract more people to want to keep you around. Right?
On the flip side, the audience has full permission to tear me down.
But you shouldn't be tearing down.
Oh, Neil Druckmann. There's a good one.
Oh,
There's a
one.
good one. Because I tried playing The Last of Us. I couldn't get into it. To me, it was like all the worst parts of Uncharted with like none of the good stuff.
Right.
I thought like it was like the story. It felt okay, but it felt like just like every zombie movie ever, kind of stuff. Like it didn't feel like it. Like people treat The Last of Us like it's some like innovate. Like it's such a groundbreaking piece of art. No, it's Night of the Living Dead in 4K.
Yeah,
it's not really. It's Dawn of the Dead. Literally everything they do, Romero did 40 years ago.
Right.
Like father daughter. Like we haven't seen that a million times. It's very good at repackaging stuff in a certain way.
I thought it was it wasn't as hard hitting as something like Silent Hill from back in the day. Silent Hill really made you scared to be playing your game, and it seemed like it was trying to create that same environment of scarcity like you had in Silent Hill, but just didn't do any aspect of what Silent Hill did as well. So it wasn't as scary. There wasn't any real scarcity in the game. The combat was I always found it really clunky, the combat, but packaged the way that it was, we don't realize how we get used to controls that are clunky. I mean, there's an entire generation that will swear that the Nintendo 64 controller was super easy to use.
Oh God, yeah. I have gotten into flat fights with people on Twitter about that. It's usable.
And I find it easy to use, but I can't make the argument.
There are people who swear by the tank controls and the original Resident Evil ones. Like, Last of Us is a funny thing because like it's very much a descendant of Uncharted, and I love Uncharted.
But
the Uncharted,
I love that whole series.
It does all the same things that Last of Us did. Like Nathan Drake is a dollar store Indiana Jones. It basically takes all the adventure tropes. The mechanics are frustrating at times, but they're serviceable. But the difference between that is Uncharted is carried by its characters, not its characterizations, but the characters are so gosh darn charming. The dialogue, like it's just the way they interact, the back and forth, and these characters are nothing new. They're not really doing anything. Like they are flat, static characters most of the time. But oh my God, Nathan Fillion and like the rest of the voice cast are just so unbelievably charming and likable that like you are willing to it kind of ties everything together where it's like you're more forgiving of the mechanics. And Uncharted is a game where it's like you praise a series, you try to go to play it, and you're cursing because you failed a jump for the third time in the row because you came in it at the wrong angle, and the game you're doing something you're not supposed to, and it spurgs out and you're frustrated. But then 5 minutes after you stop playing it, you go back to calling it the greatest game ever.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think of Uncharted, and whenever I think about it or talk about it or, think about playing it again, I don't think of any of the flaws in that game. I know that they're there, but I can't for the life of me remember it because I enjoy it so much.
Like the same with the original Pokemon. Like I still play Pokemon like Red or Blue or Yellow like once a year. That's like that's one of my once a year games, and it's still funny. Nathan Fillion. Oh God, yeah, Jay's calling me out. Nathan Fillion didn't voice Nathan.
I was just going to say.
North.
Yeah,
he did.
Nolan
Okay,
North.
In my defense, Nathan Fillion did play him in that fan film. But yes, Nolan North. Thank you, Jay. I deserve that call out.
And for those who care, Nolan North, fantastic guy, really good to his fans. I've met him twice, not met him, but seen him twice in Calgary here, and just completely upstanding guy.
Another game series I wanted to address. As for Uncharted, Tomb Raider is also an Uncharted clone. The Survivor trilogy is an Uncharted clone. But here's my hot take. I think Tomb Raider is a better Uncharted than Uncharted. From a mechanical standpoint, they actually improve upon the controls. I think the jumping mechanics, the combat mechanics are a lot better than Uncharted. The story is actually pretty interesting. Like Tomb Raider 2013 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. And I still haven't beaten Shadow. I need to go back and finish Shadow. But like Rise is really good. They're very good games, but they are Uncharted clones essentially.
Yeah, Uncharted had a really good game loop. So where you would go in, do whatever that level was, and you have to climb, you'd have to whatever the platforming was, whatever, and then there'd be some combat, maybe a little bit more platforming, and then you find out what your new weapons are, and it had a really good game loop. You get to the end of the chapter, and then you're ready to kind of move on to the next one, and you were always ready to kind of keep going with it. It was a hard game, a difficult game to
and there
put down because of that.
And there is always several points in the story where something would happen. You get captured and you lose all your weapons. You'd have to restart again, kind of thing. I thought that was kind of nice.
But it never really bothered you. It's like the weapons you could get or the weapons that you lost, it never quite bothered you because you knew that whatever you're going to be getting was going to be good enough for the game, for the thing, and all of them were fun to use. It was never where it's like, I can't use this weapon, right? So, but it never felt like it was like you didn't have to worry about power scaling. You didn't have to worry about things. There wasn't any like quality of life issues with that game. See, look, I can't even talk about the problems with the game because I'm not playing.
Yeah, and the thing is, Uncharted and Last of Us are actually very close mechanically. And in fact, you could maybe even argue Last of Us is better mechanically because of the time thing. It was developed I think it was developed. It was started like midway through Uncharted 3's development, so it had all the improvements.
Yeah,
but look at the way we talked about Uncharted's mechanics versus Last of Us mechanics. We're talking about how frustrating they are, but in actuality, it's really they're not that far off. If anything, you could make an argument.
No, they're not that different. Yeah.
So yeah,
but I would probably say that the mechanics for Last of Us were, I don't know, I don't want to say they were a step back, but they were very generic. I don't know. It was just.
It felt very
maybe
generic
because of Last of Us, maybe because of Uncharted. By the time I got to Last of Us, it was.
I think with the Last of Us, the problem was it was more of a stealth-focused game. Like Uncharted is a very you run into the firefight, you shoot people. It's kind of like a cover shooter almost. There's not really much stealth in Uncharted, whereas Last of Us, that's what it's all about. So there's a lot of like, there's a random brick, throw it at them to distract them and sneak past people.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the problem is, at least from that first Last of Us, is that engine isn't really made for stealth.
Yeah. But now with Naughty Dog, I am adamantly opposed to supporting any of their work because of Druckmann. And but
just
I mean, like,
look
at how fondly, not that we're fondling anything, but look at how fondly we remember Uncharted.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I fondle
all right,
lots
put
of
that
controllers.
away. Put that away, you sicko.
I'm fondling a controller, guys. I'm fondling a controller. God, sorry. But yeah, and Naughty Dog made some awesome games. Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, obviously Uncharted. But yeah, Neil Druckmann is a weird case where his stink is so bad it's turned people off from the entire company.
100%. Yeah. And Last of Us 2, that was the biggest. It set some kind of record for pre-orders or something like that. And
how do you know somebody is a Last of Us fan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. How do you tell somebody is a Last of Us 2 fan? Don't worry, they'll scream it at you.
Yeah, no kidding. And they also had, I think, like the biggest returns was the next day.
Spyro was Insomniac, by the way. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just a constant glazing of Last of Us, and then you had like the HBO series come out. This is like the best thing ever. It is the greatest adaptation of a video game. Like,
well, part of that's the marketing. They have to say it's the greatest thing ever in order to,
or at least
you have to put the shine on the apple, right? We're gonna have to like remove all controllers from the room every time that you
and that's the other problem. Out. It's like, by the way, we're coming out with Last of Us remastered edition.
Yeah, they took a note out of Skyrim's book.
How can you tell if someone's a Screecher fan? They'll screech it at you.
Screech it at you.
Definitely. Yeah, that's fair. Like Naughty Dog and Insomniac were very linked together.
Again, these are all small communities. You have a lot of people that have been on each other's teams with all of that. I mean, as many companies are out there, I know someone who's worked for Blizzard and EA, both, and they go back and forth as often. Every time they need a pay raise, they're calling up the other company saying, "Hey, I need to get hired."
I mean, that's just kind of modern employment tactics nowadays. Is you say to come for 2 years, get your experience, and then when you're fed up, you move somewhere else. That's just how it works nowadays. But yeah, I don't know. Like gaming is in a weird space. I am jealous of you, Jay. I used to have those. Oh. I love Spyro. Spyro's really fun.
Yeah, I have all of those as well. I have all the original Spyros. PS1.
Nice. I still have a few. I have a few PS1 games. I'm looking at them right now, but none of them are like that important. I used to be like a big game collector. I still have a few things here or there, but I sold most of them off over the years.
Oh yeah. Yeah, gaming is in a weird space right now. So is entertainment, and it can either, we'll see how it turns on its heel or who gets in control of it. But as long as some of these creators are trying to, say something really, give us these stupid agendas to their artwork, I think we're going to end up finding that it just
continues Raven
spiral downward.
I need to have you over and bring that PS4. I've never actually played PT. He says he has a PS4 with PT edition on it.
Yeah, I see that.
Guys, should I put together a live stream where I play PT for the first time? Like, that would be interesting to see. But yeah, anyway. Sorry,
That's
I'm
okay.
like a squirrel. I'm a squirrel.
But yeah, so I don't know, when it comes to all of this art and artist thing, I think there's a lot more nuanced opinions than simply, you can separate it or not separate it. And it's more of a what's the word? It's not like a universal rule. Some things actually kind of create dilemmas of sacrifice that we end up having to make because of the way that an artist ends up being. And not everybody wants to do that. So I think we end up allowing for a lot of poor behavior from artists that we don't necessarily need to. And, we got people that, especially in like the indie community, that end up mirroring or mimicking some of that behavior. And it's like, you don't have the luxury of doing that, because even with the big artists, big creators, no matter who that producer is, whether it's James Cameron or whoever.
James Cameron is a good example. He is a great
we don't have
example.
We don't have to put up with your, the bullshit that people want to put out. We can move on to other great art.
James Cameron is actually a really good example of separating art from artist. Because if you know anything about James Cameron, he is definitely a separate art for the artist. Because on set, he was known as a bit of a tyrant. Supposedly, he's mellowed out in his recent years. You know,
but do you get to make the movies? Do you get to make the movies that he made without being a tyrant on the set? So I don't know what the answer is, because I hear stories like, you look at Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson doesn't have any negative stories out there about him, and of course he created some of the best film that we've ever had, right? We've never returned to the storytelling that took place in Lord of the Rings.
Well, the problem with Lord of the Rings is kind of one of those definitely moment in time kind of movies. It never could have been made before that, and it can't be. Amazon is proving it can't have been made since, because basically it was made in that time where physical effects were dying out, but all the old masters were still alive and still contributing. Peter Jackson literally brought in some of the most famous Tolkien illustrators ever to do the concept art. You had Christopher Lee, who knew Tolkien. You know, like, all the old people were still alive to help make that what it was. And
that's true.
Peter Jackson was like the one person who had the passion, because at one point they were going to have two, there were going to be two movies at Miramax, and they had written it as two movies, and then Harvey Weinstein, you know, I mean, there's a billion of those stories of that guy. He wanted to be one movie.
Yeah.
And then he had the wherewithal to leave, and so he shopped it around, and luckily New Line was in the position to finance it. If New Line, because New Line had in the 90s, they had a pretty good run of movies, you know.
Yeah.
So if they hadn't have had that good run of movies in the 90s, they would not have been in a position to do that. It was made at the perfect point in time.
Yeah, I think when you look at a lot of those big productions like that, it's kind of the case for all of it. I mean, like Terminator 2 couldn't have been made before, right? And because of the special effects, couldn't have been made before. And you look at it now, and it's just like it. You look at the Terminators that have come since. We've never been able to go back to the storytelling of Terminator 2, right? There's only
Terminator 3 is a bit overhated, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's only two Terminator movies.
Well, the problem with Terminator is they had that definitive ending. Like, honestly, they should have gone with the original ending, where you see the original ending where John's a senator and Linda Hamilton's old or whatever. That was the original ending. But they kind of did a last minute thing where they left a little bit open. But if you notice, every Terminator thing since, it's just okay, how can we undo the ending of Terminator 2? That's literally everything since.
Yeah, and every movie has always started with the premise of basically the ending of Terminator 2 is no longer functional for the story. Yeah.
I will say I like Terminator 3. I think Terminator Salvation is a good film, and people Terminator Salvation is the only post T2 film that at least has some claim to exist, because it's in the future. You know, it's a bit of a sequel prequel kind of thing if you think about it.
What I don't like, since Terminator 2, every movie since then has been serviceable in its own ecosystem. But unfortunately, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 end up being the comparison. And when you look at how old those movies are, and that we haven't been able to step forward with the storytelling in a way that doesn't, destroy the narrative of the other movies, the movies themselves don't hold up, right?
Yeah, I think
whenever you're destroying the thing that came before it, the new movie doesn't hold up. So.
Yeah, I think that's a big that's one of the billion reasons why Rings of Power doesn't work.
What a disaster
there are trillions of reasons why that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, but one of them is they don't respect what came before. In fact, and I think the reason why a lot of movies, games, or whatever is they are made with an active effort to destroy what came before. You know, to
Yeah.
quote Star Wars, "Let the past die. Kill it if you
Yeah.
have to." It's like they're made with an active hatred of what came before.
Yeah.
Like it's all well and good to try and move forward. I think the flip side, we don't really talk about the flip side of it when nostalgia becomes a ball and chain, and I think nostalgia can become too much to where it's overbearing, where you can't
Oh,
move
definitely.
forward. But that's a discussion that we need to talk more about. But like, too many people are actively hating, trying to destroy the past. I gotta say, the one phrase that I hate hearing more than anything coming from creator is, "I want to put my own stamp on it."
Yeah.
If I hear that, I'm done.
Yeah. Again, something that Peter Jackson gave a great statement against, where he was saying we weren't trying to put our own agendas into what Tolkien was saying. We were trying to let Tolkien say what he was saying through the movie.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
like
totally destroying that quote, but yeah, it's
yeah. He was saying like
important.
he went in the exact opposite direction, and he paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of reminded of, so you know the Wheel of Time series, right?
Yeah.
So you know how like the original Arthur Robert Jordan died,
Yeah.
and then Brandon Sanderson came in.
came. Yeah.
So basically, there was this blog post that came out shortly afterwards, where he likened himself to a violinist apprentice, where the violinist created the body, he shaped it, or whatever, and basically his job was to come in, sand it, and put on the varnish. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
And when I read that, I felt a lot more comfortable because I knew Brandon Sanderson was coming at it with a deep respect for Robert Jordan, a deep respect for what came before, and he's using like kind of thing. And when I read that, I was very happy because he was trying to respect it. It's kind of like what okay, is this what you're laughing at?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to keep it in, but
someone pulls an evil screecher out of their bag and says, "I just want to no."
You gotta screech it. I just want to put my own stamp on it.
Gotta put your own screech on it. Oh god.
You
see what I have to deal with? All these Screecher fans. Blessed be the one who has fans. But yeah, there will be no Nega Screecher.
Yeah, I was unfortunately Robert Jordan kind of lost me after a while. He got too far over the place, too much into the women's drama, and
when he started, it was a lot more even. Like
yeah, I love
kind of a battle. There's like a battle of sexes undercurrent of the book.
Yeah, and I loved Rand's story. I loved Perrin's story. I loved Matron's story. So much so that like when I played Final Fantasy, I would name all the characters after the characters in Robert Jordan's books.
For me, the greatest window into Robert Jordan's mind was how he did the one power. So you had the male half Saidin and the female half Saidar. Like you had like the interface with it differently. But the key part was the greatest acts of the one power are when men and women work together. And to me, that is kind of the greatest message that Robert Jordan could have give. Like, men are awesome, women are awesome. Put us together, we create the greatest things on Earth. And that's kind of how I see things.
Yeah, I mean, I that's a very long show to pull apart the aspects of the Wheel of Time, but yeah, Robert Jordan kind of lost me at the end. I couldn't figure out the narrative that he was going for, the story he was trying to tell, and I couldn't figure out at the time. I was very black and white with my villains and heroes, and I couldn't figure, like, everyone seemed villainous to me. I was just like, I don't like the way any of these people are acting. So I kind of checked out before Brandon took over of the books. So I think Lords of Chaos was the last one.
Yeah, especially with Rand. Rand was going some really dark places. Like there's that one point later on where he's like caught by Severage, and he actually uses the true power. Like the power that comes directly from the Dark One himself to break the thing.
Sure. But I understood the corruption of all of that and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm saying bitches ruined that series for me. So that was the
Yeah, like there's a lot of them. Like there's Elida. I
Yeah.
will say, okay, this is very very cruel, but I did have some sense of satisfaction. Elida's fate is she was actually captured by the Shanshan and dragged off. So she was gonna like she had the collar around her neck. Like that
Yeah.
is so wrong. But for a character like her, I'm like, and but like
Some people
Nynaeve,
deserve the fate that they.
Nynaeve could be annoying, but her heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
Elaine, Elida, Egwene, I hated with a passion, and I hated her ending because it actually gave her like, spoiler alert, in the final battle, she did like this thing where like she did like a wave of energy, and she got turned into crystal, and you know, so she like took out a bunch of bad guys. It's like I call it the Flame of Tarvalon. You know, she got a hero's death essentially.
Sure.
Like, and
Yeah.
like
We're getting too much into the weeds with this stuff though, because I mean, like I said, it becomes a whole series onto itself. But yeah.
did you ever
Anyway.
read Ender's Game?
Say it again.
You ever read Ender's Game?
Oh yeah, Orson Scott Card is one of my first
Yeah,
one of my
right.
first sci-fi authors.
I think
Orson
the way
Scott Card and Anne McCaffrey.
I need to read more Anne McCaffrey. But like, I really like the way that Orson Scott Card approached his universe, the Enderverse, because it's not like a series of books; it's a spider web.
Yeah.
You know, in the center is Ender's Game, and you got the Hegemon trilogy, and then you got Ender's Shadow, which is Bean,
Shadow.
and that leads into its whole series. It's really interesting. Like, I haven't read all the books, but I've read a lot of them. And the thing that I'm really fascinated about looking at Orson Scott Card with a modern lens is Orson Scott Card really predicted the online pundit. Like, like the Ben Shapiro's, like those like he basically predicted Twitter fights. And I think they were written in like the early 80s. So like maybe at best there was like BBSs he could have gone off of. But just like
people,
but also controlled opposition. You know, like you have one person you argue the other point, and then they use that to manipulate the audience. Like if you actually dig into it, it is scarily precedent.
You know, something that we've kind of lost in our modern time is writers who have been predicting the future. So I mean, like you have your Philip K. Dicks and Gene Roddenberry's and that kind of stuff, and these authors prior to, you know, bigger fame, these authors that were able to kind of look at the direction that the culture was going, and predict certain things that were going to take place. But we've kind of lost that now. I can't think of anybody who's predicting what 2050 is going to look like.
I think the only like sci-fi series that has been kind of doing that is Black Mirror, because like Black Mirror was a series, stuff that would happen like 5-10 years in the future.
Definitely,
I think.
Yeah,
like
very very small steps with some of their stuff, but yeah, very.
But all they did is they saw what was happening at the moment. Like for example, the episode White Bear,
and took it to another 3 steps. Yeah.
So they kind of just logically extrapolated where things would go, and they turned out to be on the money. Like for example, the one with the episode with Ron Howard's daughter. What's her name?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about with the liking.
It predicted it's like the social credit thing, and we're basically seeing that play out right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, man. We're getting to the end of my time, so let's run this out with another Screecher promo and get people excited about some of the work. And just to remind everyone that you know, we're here to entertain you guys. So hopefully, you know, the stuff that we're showing you is
well, you're not entertained.
Excited.
The Warhammer 30 Horus Heresy books just ended with 68 books. Okay, all right. Yeah, a lot of Warhammer fans in my audience, and I'm just like, I
noticed
like
that last time too.
Yeah, it's like I think like I don't hate Warhammer. I just never really got into it myself, but I don't mind it.
I love Warhammer. I love the lore. The price tag has always been what
Yeah.
kept me from getting too deep into it.
Thank you, Jay Williams. That is actually the greatest compliment I could receive. That means we did our job.
Perfect.
Hooded Raven is doing his best Juggalo impression. Yeah, you can screech if you want to, but if your friends don't screech, then they aren't friends of mine. Sign up for Screecher if you haven't yet already. Link is in the description. We are still trying to get that 40th follower. So at 50 follows, I will drop the first lettered page in its entirety, the first completed page at 50 followers. So we're 11 away from that. We can do it. From me, it was Tuesday. Rest in peace, Raul Julian. So Smiling Bandito, what do you got going on, and where can people find you?
Well, my name is Michael Schroeder, Smiling Bandito, wherever social media reaches. So anywhere that you end up going, if you search for my name, you'll find something from me. And I don't know, I'm developing a few projects here and there. Most of the big announcements are coming out in due time. So if you follow me on Twitter, that'll probably be the best place to catch any updates that I might have. But short of that, you won't be able to miss me in a very short time. I'll be everywhere. So hopefully all of you guys are able to catch the work that we're doing. And I am super excited for some of the projects that are coming out, because I know that this is going to fill a vacant hole for so many people in their souls. There's so many things that we have missing in our entertainment industry today. And you know, I feel like our audiences are just craving. I know I have been craving certain things from the entertainment industry, and you know, some of the stuff that's going to be coming out, both the work that I'm doing with Jay here and some other projects that I have going with a couple other creators.
By the way,
we got some really cool stuff happening. Yeah.
When your book is ready, feel free to come on and chill it.
Of course, you know, you're on the A phone. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the only ways I can offer to pay is if you're co-host, you can feel as much as you want. So yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so we're gonna cap things off a few minutes early, but I think we've said our piece. Smelling Bandito, thank you. Hopefully you can bless us again next week. But tomorrow we'll be doing Wind Waker, the next episode. Things are kind of getting really good. And then on Sunday we're doing Game Watch, where we will be talking about our favorite handhelds. And then on Tuesday, Total Request Tuesdays. Just want to say thank you, Hooded Raven. Thank you, Orthodox Monk. Thank you, Jay Williams. It is really great to see you become a regular on the show, Jay. I just want to say that. Time to wake
up. Before you take off, hold on. Before you take off, you have to do all of that again because you roboted through the entire thing. I would say just tell everybody.
What?
So you got 40 seconds to make up for the 2 hours. So I guess we won't be heading out 2 minutes early. But you definitely need to say where people need to catch you next, because it got
all right.
It 100%.
Like, comment, subscribe, everybody. So on Saturday, we'll be doing Wind Waker. The next episode of that, things are heating up with there. On Sunday, we'll be talking about our favorite handhelds. Tuesday, Total Request Tuesday. Smelling Bandito, I hope to see you again next week. But thank you, Hooded Raven. Thank you, Jay Williams. It's really good to see you coming by. Y'all don't become a stranger. Orthodox Monk. Time to Wake Up. Jason Ingram. Thank you to everybody who supports us. This has been Nick from the Phoenix Press. And remember, I can only show you the door. You can only walk through it.